The Great Ocean Road was a location that we're looking forward to seeing, and as we set ourselves up in Peterborough, which is on the western side of the Great Ocean Road, we'll travel the Great Ocean Road length of the road, and we'll do that without the caravan, and that enables us to go in and see all the locations that we want to look at. And when we do go into a location, if you look down on the left hand side bottom corner of the screen, you'll see the location's name there. I'm Mick, and this is Sally. Together we've been caravanning Australia since the 1980s, and more recently we started to put the videos together just to show you some of what we see out there. There's a lot to see in Australia, and we hope you enjoy what we have here to show you. You can follow us on our trips via the following social media platforms. If you like the following video, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Leaving Warrnambool, it's only a short drive to Peterborough, which is near the beginning of the Great Ocean Road for us, and it's there that we'll base ourselves during our time on the Great Ocean Road. Yeah, g'day everyone, we've arrived in Peterborough this morning and we're all set up now, so we'll have a quick bite of lunch and while the sun's shining, we'll head down along the Great Ocean Road and see what we can see down there. Peterborough is only a small community, and on the western side of the Great Ocean Road is a very pretty community though, and as we fly out from the caravan park that we're stopping in here and looking towards the water, on a beautiful sunny day, it'd be very, very nice. While we're stopping in Peterborough, we'll do the full circuit of the Great Ocean Road heading from west to east, and then once we've been on the eastern side, we'll come back inland and travel through the middle to come back to Peterborough. Today being our first day in Peterborough, after we got the caravan set up, we thought we'd do the main scenic lookout locations that the Great Ocean Road does offer, and all of these locations were not very far from Peterborough at all. From Peterborough we actually headed back towards Portland, a short distance, and it was only a few kilometres, not very far at all, and our first port of call here was the Bay of Islands. All of these scenic locations that we're going to, they have their own car park, and some of them do cater for longer loads, buses and caravans and the likes, but not all of them, so hence that's why we decided to base ourselves in one location and do it this way. The second one that we went to was back towards Peterborough now, and that was the Bay of Martyrs. It was a semi-overcast day when we did the Great Ocean Road this afternoon, and which wasn't too bad, but very, very windy. From the Bay of Martyrs, we'd now gone back through Peterborough and we're heading east from Peterborough, and the next one was the Grotto. Now, the Grotto, there is a bit of a walk there. It's a good walk to get down to it. As far as the walking track goes, it's well maintained, but it's very picturesque once you get down into the grotto. From the top you go down these steps here as seen, and when you go right down to the bottom and get to the scenic part of the grotto, you'll see why and understand why there's been so many pictures that have been taken in this location over many, many years. In a lot of ways today the camera doesn't do this location justice, but when you look out through that opening there, you've got two levels. You've got the flat water in front of you, and then you've got the ocean at the lower level further out. It's just very spectacular. The next location that we had a look at was the London Bridge. Now bear in mind, all these areas that we're going in to look at are within close proximity of each other. from the very first one on the western side to when we get up to the 12 Apostles, it wouldn't be any more than 30 kilometres between the entire length of the whole scenic coastal area. Apparently when the London Bridge collapsed here, there were 2 people out on what was created as an island when that part of the bridge did collapse, so they of course had to be rescued. From the London Bridge it was onto the Razorback. Now this is very, very colourful, this Razorback, if you can get nice bright sunlight on it, and in times gone by when we've been here with bright sunlight, it certainly takes a very, very pretty photograph. The ocean has certainly taken its toll on the land formation along the coastline here, but it's certainly made for some spectacular viewing. It was now mid-March when we were here, but you can see the fence barrier that's been put up on either side of the road here, so obviously we're not in the peak period of visiting down here, of course, but that must illustrate the amount of cars that try and park here. So obviously the big car parking area would be full and they'd be parking out on the road. The Loch Ard Gorge got its name through the ship vessel the Loch Ard, and that was ran aground here just outside the gorge, and that's where the whole story of the gorge evolves, and I'll put a link in the video description below that will illustrate that story for you. A set of steps as seen here allows you to go down from the top of the gorge down into the gorge itself, and a very popular swimming area, this one. The Loch Ard Gorge is certainly one of my favourite locations to visit when on the Great Ocean Road. Where there's steps to be climbed down, there's always steps to be climbed up to get back where you came from. The next location for us was Muttonbird Island. Now on this island there's reportedly some 50,000 mutton birds that live out there, and they live on the island because they know they're safe from predators such as foxes and wild cats. As the afternoon progressed, the sun was starting to shine more and more, but the wind didn't let up at all. From Muttonbird Island it was onto the 12 Apostles, and we're turning left here, and this takes us into the car park. There is a small kiosk and information centre here at the 12 Apostles, and as you would have noted, we went left into the car park, and then there's a walkway which takes you under the main highway to take you across to the 12 Apostles. The original number of apostles here was 12, but as the years have gone by with the ocean hammering against them, it's eroded them and some of them have collapsed, so there is stories now of 9.5, but the exact number is, we're not real sure. Because of such a strong wind today, there was a lot of sea spray in the horizon. While we're at the 12 Apostles, we thought we'd go out the back to where these helicopter joy flights were landing, and in total there was 5 of these choppers that were there, and whilst we were there, 2 of them were servicing the crowd. No sooner one chopper would land with the passengers that had just come back from a scenic flight, and the ground crew were there to unload them and move them on, and as soon as they were gone, the next group of people that were going on the next shore flight was soon put on, and away it would go again. The ground crew had their work cut out for them at times, because obviously as a passenger on something like this, you want to go there and have your photo taken with the chopper in the background. As the first chopper's fully loaded for its next trip out along the Great Ocean Road with the passengers, in comes the second one, and they'll repeat the same procedure they did with the first one. As we made our way back from the 12 Apostles to Peterborough, we called into Port Campbell for a bit of a look. Port Campbell has a sheltered beach, and at the same location is where they've also got a jetty. Now this beach is patrolled during the summer months for everyone's safety. It was now our second day at Peterborough, and it was on this day that we went along the Great Ocean Road without the caravan. We had a look at the Cape Otway Lighthouse as well as we went past. And then once we got to the Melbourne end of the Great Ocean Road, we cut across inland and returned back to Peterborough. Part of this drive takes you through the Great Otway National Park, and as seen here, it's very, very tall timber in some places in the Otway National Park. Turning off the Great Ocean Road, we went into the Cape Otway Lighthouse. Now this lighthouse here is one that you can climb up and view from the top, and that is a semi-guided tour. There is an entry fee payable to see the lighthouse and go in and have a look at it, and that's available here at the gift shop, and on the day that we were there it was $19.50 per adult. All the buildings here at the Cape Otway Lighthouse, the keepers' quarters and so on, they're all around the 1850s vintage. We made our way to the lighthouse, and once we got to the lighthouse you just assemble at the base of the entry to the lighthouse, and from there, as long as you didn't see one of these snakes, that these yellow signs here to the left were indicating that we're out and about. I guess that's during the summer months, but once you made your way to the base of the lighthouse, the lightkeeper guide would call you up and you would proceed up the stairs to the top of the lighthouse. Once you look out from the top of the lighthouse from the viewing platform, you got some very, very great sea views, and the guide that was there today was saying that he was also there the previous day, that we were on the Great Ocean Road looking at all those colourful lookouts, and with so much wind, he said it was very, very windy up the top once you went out to have a look out along the coastline. From the Cape Otway Lighthouse, we made our way along the Great Ocean Road until we got to Apollo Bay, and by then it was the middle of the day, so we made lunch there and went for a bit of a walk along the beach. As we continued towards Melbourne, from Apollo Bay, it's where all the pretty scenic coastal views really come on their own, and with the ocean on one side and the towering hills on the other, it certainly makes for a very pretty drive. We drove east until we got to the Great Ocean Road Memorial Arch, and it was this point is where we turned around and started heading back towards Peterborough. Although it wasn't great kilometres on this day, it certainly took a full day to do this drive, and if you want to look at things that interest you along the way, there's certainly plenty to see and lots of time to be wasted. The Great Ocean Road Tourist Park here at Peterborough is where we actually based ourselves during this stay here along the Great Ocean Road. It's only a small caravan park, but each day the tourists come in, and not very many of them stay for too many nights, and they're on their way again to the next spot that they want to look at. Unfortunately for Sally and I, it was while we were on the Great Ocean Road that we both came down with COVID, so this was an ideal location for us to extend our stay, which the park managers quite happily let us do, and we had a few extra days isolation while we're here. While we were recovering with COVID, of course, we used all our own facilities, the caravan with the shower and toilet, etc. So we didn't need to venture out to use anything that the park did offer. For anyone that did need to use the camp kitchen, it certainly had the facilities there were certainly something that I didn't expect in a park this size. They had everything that you would want. There are a number of permanent caravans at this park for those people that are wishing to make this a permanent holiday destination. There's certainly fairy wren country along the Great Ocean Road, and these little fellas would come right into the caravan and bop around. They were very wary of you though. You make one move or one noise and they were gone like a flash. On our last morning here at the Peterborough Caravan Park, we woke to this very colourful sunrise. With time on our side, it was a slow pack up this morning, and before long we were ready to go. Well, our time on the Great Ocean Road's about come to an end, but we have had an extended stay here at Peterborough. Both Zoe and I came down with COVID, unfortunately, but that's all behind us now, so hope we've caught enough video footage to show you what the Great Ocean Road is like. It's a very pretty place. It's certainly worse places than this to be held up with COVID. But we move on this morning, and we're going to head over towards Ballarat. There's a free camp not far this side of Ballarat that we'll base ourselves for a couple of days and see how we go from there. So until the next one, you take care and look after yourself. If you like the video that you just watched, give us a thumbs up, and if you want to see more of our videos, click on the subscribe button, and once you've done that, change the bell notification to all. That way every time that we do uploads to our YouTube channel, you'll be notified.